everyone, my name is Claire Brown. I am the author of the short story Forget Them Not in the upcoming anthology If I Die Before I Wake, Volume 3 by Sinister Smile Press. One of the questions that I get a lot as an author is, why do you love ghost stories so much? Well, it's because I was raised on them. Not as ghost stories in books, but as family stories. My great-grandmother lived in a Victorian monstrosity built by her uncle in the 1800s. And it came with an incomplete attic that looked like you would store your crazy aunt in, crawl spaces under the stairs, and bolt holes under the floorboards from Prohibition. It also came rife with ghost stories, from the uncle who hung himself in the woodshed out back, to the other crazy uncle who hid silver dollars up in the foothills during the stock market crash. And of course, my great-grandmother's mother's ghost who roamed the upstairs halls. So how can I not love ghost stories when they're a part of my family history? They keep me connected to family that's not here anymore, especially my great-grandmother who loved a good ghost story. So I'd like to take this opportunity to read to you an excerpt from one of the stories that I'm working on currently. It is called Stickmen. I think a mouse went under your chair. Ma shot up from the seat, the lace falling to her feet, whirling around to face the chair, her long unbound hair whipping out behind her. Jake darted to his feet behind her, mouth wrenched open, no sound escaping. A shadow clung to Mom's back, pressed flat between her shoulder blades. Her hair settled on her back and something humped beneath it, slowly climbing towards her nape. Ma tipped the chair to the side, poised to leap away if a mouse scurried out from beneath it. "I don't see anything," she said. She turned towards Jake, seeing his ashen face. "What?" Mouth working silent, Jake pointed to her. His ma quickly crossed to him, grabbing him by the shoulders. "Baby, what's the matter?" Something jutted and angular poked out from her hair, "Your hair," he whispered. "It's in your hair." She screeched, hands flailing at her head. Jake jumped back, watching for something to fall to the floor. When nothing fell, he looked back up. His ma was patting madly at her head, but the critter weaved through her hair with oily ease. It used the thick links to climb to the crown of her head and down the other side, the whole time dodging her hands. "It gone?" She didn't wait for Jacob to answer. Instead, she headed towards the bathroom. He trailed behind her, still able to see the creature lumping around under her hair. She flipped on the bathroom light and leaned forward over the sink to see into the mirror. Jake hovered in the doorway, throat so tight it hurt worse than having strep. The critter climbed back to the crown of her head, and in the bright bathroom light, Jake finally got a clear look at it. Small sticks bundled together with old twine to look like a man. Where it should be stiff and brittle, it moved with liquid ease, joints moving backwards and forwards without a hitch. When his ma leaned over the sink, he expected her to start screeching again. The critter was right there, perched on the top of her head, and he could see it reflected clearly in the mirror. When she turned her head to look at him, the critter did as well, its eyes burning like tiny bonfires inside its little acorn skull. "I don't see anything," she said. "Do you?" Jake dropped his eyes to his ma's. She looked at him expectantly, her face pale from fright, but no longer terrified. He opened his mouth to say something, to ask her how could she not see it on her head, to ask how could she not feel it moving around on her. Instead, he shut his mouth and shook his head. From the crown of her head, the critter snickered back at him. I hope you enjoyed that excerpt. Thank you. And I hope you enjoy our upcoming anthology from Sinister Smile Press, If I Die Before I Wake, Volume 3. Thank you very much for listening to my video, and you have a great day.